Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca back at the Church of Chewbacca. We're back here again doing another Showdown video to hopefully help you guys out. And this one's going to be the NL Central. So hopefully this video here will help you knock this out in the most efficient way for people that are average to above average players. As I've stated before in the other videos, the quickest way to actually do these are just at the beginning of the mission, go down here where it says forfeit right now. There'll be an option to skip to the final showdown. Just skip to the final showdown and try to do it 0 to 15. If you're good enough to do it, then God bless. You don't really need this video anyways, but I still appreciate you tuning in. Alright, so the first mission I had for this is steal the Pirates' treasure. Pretty much you're going up against the Pirates closer, Keon Kella. You're down 2 at the bottom of the 8th, come back and get the win. I would 100% skip this mission. It just takes too long. You're also down 2 runs. Kella is not super hard to hit, and I get it's only on veteran. However, coming back from down 2 runs to then have to win the game, plus you have to pitch, it's too much hassle for possibly 1, maybe 2 runs if it's over here. But even if it's worth 2 runs, I would still skip it. The next one is the Cubs Killer Crew. This is the face the heart of the Cubs order with a 1-run lead in the bottom of the 9th and win the game while recording a strikeout. So essentially you have your closer, you have to get a strikeout, and you have to stop the Cubs from scoring. They also have a runner on first base at the beginning of this mission. It's on veteran. I believe that you can easily do this one. I attempted to do this mission. I actually failed it this time around. This is the 5th time I've ran through this. And it's the first time I failed it. It's really not that hard of a mission. Just be a little bit careful if it does get to where a couple guys are on base. I think you have to face Schwarber and some other guys later on that do have a lot of power. Just don't try to throw them too much high and in or high and out because they can't hit a home run to end it. But highly recommend doing this mission. Next mission is the Reds Rockin Rotation. Essentially, this is based off the Reds picked up Trevor Bauer in the offseason, and now they have like their version of the big 3 in Castillo, Bauer, and Gray. You have to face Bauer, tally 3 hits, 2 runs, and 1 extra base hit in the first 3 innings. It's on veteran, and Bauer doesn't really have too great of pitches. I think he's pretty easy to hit. I've done this mission every time. I don't think it's that hard. You start off hitting. If it's in this two final showdown, for 2 final showdown runs, I would 100% do the mission. But I'll leave it up to you guys as being optional. I personally hit Trevor Bauer pretty well, so I do the mission. However, I can see where if some guys might have trouble hitting him, or it's only worth 1 run instead of 2 runs, it might not be worth doing it, especially because you only get a silver player and a silver perk. Which then leads you to the showdown versus Castillo. Essentially, this showdown is like every other first showdowns. Is you're down 3-0 with 12 outs. You have to face Luis Castillo, and it's an elimination showdown, so you cannot fail the mission. It's on veteran. Castillo does throw the ball very hard. He'll tickle 100 miles an hour every once in a while. His slider does have a lot of movement on it. My advice for this showdown is to focus on Castillo. Make him, first off, he does not have a lot of stamina, so make him throw a lot of pitches early and focus on trying to hit his fastball, especially when he throws it center cut, either low or high. If he throws his slider, he'll hang it every once in a while, but I would really recommend just trying to hit his fastball because he does have a lot of movement on his other pitches. He will also hang his circle change every once in a while too, and if he hangs that, then you just got to jump on it and crush it. Once you've completed this showdown, you're going to move on to these set of 3 missions. The first one I had on this set of 3 is Christians on a Mission. Essentially just is they're hyping up Christian Yelich having a great year last year. Obviously he was in the MVP hunt, and he just got hurt at the back end of the year. In this mission, you have to face the Brewers in their lineup. You have to face their batter. You have to strike out 3 batters in 3 innings without allowing 2 runs. No one's on base to start. They give you a 2-0 lead. I'm not sure why they give you a lead. However, for this mission, how I'd recommend doing it is I would do it, first off, 100%, because it's just a pitching mission. It's on veteran. It's relatively easy. It's not too hard to get 3 strikeouts in 3 innings. But when you're up to bat, I would just bunt. Just bunt, get back onto the mound as quickly as possible. And I feel like this mission does not actually take that long. And nobody besides maybe Yelich really hits me in these missions. I've done this mission out of the 5 runs I've done it all 5 times. There's only been 1 time where they've scored 1 run, and I've never failed this mission. The next mission is ridiculous red runs. Pretty much in the offseason, the Reds picked up Castellanos and Moustakas. And so therefore, this mission is based off face the new Reds lineup and strike out 3 batters in 3 scoreless innings. It's actually very similar to the last mission you just did, minus you can't let up any runs compared to being able to let up 1 run against the Brewers. Once again, I'd recommend doing this mission. Some advice is the Reds lineup is way better than the Brewers lineup is. And Castellanos, I don't know what it is, and we'll talk about him at the end whenever I go over the lineup, but he plays way above his stats. I understand he smashes left-handed pitching, but I'm talking about against right-handed pitching too. This mission, I've done it every time because it's normally in one of these final 2 showdown runs, or 4 to get 2 final showdown runs, and it's on veteran. But that dude, Nick Castellanos, absolutely mashes the ball for whatever reason, especially if you throw a high inside fastball, so I'd throw it high and away if you're going to throw the ball high at all. This is also with your starting pitcher. So these 2 missions are both with your starting pitcher, just so you guys know. But highly recommend doing it. Once again, when you're on offense, just bunt, make it go faster. The next one is the St. Louis Pen holds the Cards. This mission is optional for me. I did it because it was for a gold player, and my lineup this run around, which I'll show you, was bad. It was pretty much bad until I got to this point. It was not a very good lineup for these missions, so I just went ahead and did it because I needed to get the gold live series player. I wouldn't even recommend bother doing this if it's only for 1 run, but because it is for 2 runs this run, I did it. Plus you get the gold perk. It's not really a hard mission. You'll start off facing Jordan Hicks in the 7th inning, and you just have to beat the Cardinals on veteran. I believe they'll go with Jordan Hicks, then they'll bring in Andrew Miller, and they'll end with Giovanni Gallegos if you end up getting Hicks and Miller out of the game. Once you've completed these three missions, you go to the Showdown versus Flaherty. It's on All-Star. It's the first time the difficulty bumps up to All-Star in this Showdown. I will say that you have to score 4 runs with 10 outs. And Flaherty has a lot of movement on his stuff, just like Castillo. I would really focus on Flaherty's fastball and possibly him hanging some pitches. Once again, he does not have a lot of stamina, just like Castillo doesn't. So I make him throw a lot of pitches early on. But really focus on the fastball. His slider moves a lot. Even his fastball moves a bit. He just has a lot of movement. He doesn't throw it that hard. Only throws about 95 miles an hour. That's why I said focus on the fastball. Once you've beaten the Showdown versus Flaherty, you move on to these 3 missions. The first one I got this time around is Dealer of the Cards. Pretty much you have an 8-7 lead in the bottom of the 8th. And you have to get a 2-inning save with your closer. So essentially your closer's in, and you can't switch out the pitcher. So if your closer gets shelled, for whatever reason, you lose anyways because you can't let up a run. But you can't even use your closer as a setup man and bring in another pitcher. You're stuck pitching 2 innings with your closer. So think about that. You don't have to get any strikeouts, nothing extra. But I would possibly think about maybe if they get a runner on base, trying to induce a ground ball to get a double play to keep your pitch count down, because most closers don't have a lot of stamina to keep throwing a lot of pitches. You don't really want to throw more than 30 to 40 pitches with your closer, and that's max. So that's something to take into consideration. But I would 100% do this mission. It's quick, easy. When you bat, bunt, because even if you score, it doesn't help you at all, because if you let up a run, you lose the mission anyway. So 100% recommend doing this mission. This next mission is You Can't Touch Darvish. Essentially, it's a mission with you, Darvish. I don't care how many runs it's worth. If it's worth a diamond player or not a diamond player. This was worth, obviously this slot is worth gold player and gold perks. This one's worth diamond player, diamond perk. I'd skip it anyways. First 3 innings, you have to tally 4 hits, 3 runs, and an extra base hit. Darvish isn't necessarily super hard to hit. It's just his first pitch is a cutter, and he just throws it slow, and it seems like right now the ball's not jumping off the bat for cutters or slow pitches. Also, it takes a long time unless you really hit him in the first inning. If you want to try doing this mission, because let's say you failed some of the earlier missions, I would do it for the first inning and see what happens. And if you maybe get 3 hits and 2 runs and already have the extra base hit, maybe just continue doing it for the next 3 innings. But you are the away team, so you start out batting. So you can always hop in there and play your first 3 outs and kind of see where you're at. The next one is the NL Central Live Series squad. Just like any of the other showdowns, this is the last mission before the final showdown. Always, it's whatever the division is, Live Series squad. They all are a little bit different. However, this one is at the beginning of the 7th inning. You're against the NL Central's best players, Live Series players. And I believe the score is 7-7 or 9-9. Either way, you have to break the tie and go get a win. It's only on veteran. Highly recommend doing it. Start on the mound with Craig Kimbrell. And then after Kimbrell, they'll bring in Andrew Miller and Josh Hader. So you'll probably face Kimbrell in the 7th, Miller in the 8th. And if the game's still close, you'll face Hader. Anyways, that brings you all the missions up to the final showdown with Hader. If you do this right, you should be anywhere between 10 to 12 runs to 15. So you should only have to get at the max 6 runs. And go see what I have working this time around. For diamonds, I highly recommend picking up Willie Stargell if you can get him. As you can see, 100 power against righty, 102 power versus lefties, crushes a ball. Great pickup for this type of run. Diamond-wise, as you can see, they don't have a lot of good diamonds in this division. If you can get the face of the franchise, Lorenzo Cain, I'd go with that. Or the face of the franchise, Josh Bell. But, I mean, as you can see, like, this Johnny Bench isn't super impressive. This card isn't this George Foster isn't super impressive hitting-wise. Especially because you got to face Hader at the end as a lefty. Now, I will say some cards that play way above their stats and that you need to pick up if they are available. Nick Castellanos. Dude mashes. Obviously, against lefties, great numbers. But even against righties, he's hitting way above that 74-65 slash. I promise you. He hits the crap out of the ball. Another guy that's a good pickup is Eugenio Suarez. I would pick him up too. He can play shortstop whenever you got to play missions. Obviously, I got Paul Goldschmidt slated at shortstop right now just because he matches lefties. But these 3 right here for golds, 100% pickups. Mike Moustakas might be the best gold hitter there is in the NL Central, and I would put money on it. I mean, he just hits left and right-handed pitching amazingly, has pretty good vision. I really like this card for this. Now, those are obviously the golds and the diamonds. Obviously, they're all pretty decent hitters. But when you're really looking at some guys that I'd pick up early on, Avasale Garcia, I think, is a great hitter for this. He has a really good swing. He gets a lot of hits for me. Another guy that I really enjoyed playing with early on is Aquino. And I don't have him this run, but I think the best bronze to pick up is Jason Kipnis. He just hits everything against right-handed pitching. You probably won't need him in the lineup against left-handed pitching later on, but against right-handed pitching, he crushes the ball. He plays for Chicago now. He can play second base and center field, but he's just an amazing bronze card for this run. I also think it's very important, actually, this time around, and this is probably the first division I'll say this, that pitching is kind of important to go with. So look at the pitchers real quick. So I have Corey Knebel, who I recommend as the best silver pitcher, because you need strikeouts on a lot of these missions, and he just throws heat. You mix in his knuckle curve with his fastball. Really good pitcher. I enjoy throwing with him. I highly recommend him. Another guy that was pretty good for me is Pedro Strop. I will say, though, whenever you set these up, and this is important for these missions, when you set these up, take whoever is in your setup spot and throw him at long relief. Because when you come into like the 7th inning of these games, they have your long reliever in there. So you don't want to have to play with, like, I don't know, normally like Cody Whitley would be back there. You don't have to pitch with your 63 guy, 3 batters. Like, we don't want that. So make sure you put in Pedro Strop. I would not recommend Anthony Desclafani. I don't like his pitching. He doesn't throw a lot of strikes. If you're looking for starting pitchers that are silvers that can get the job done, I'd recommend like Chris Archer. There's also a pitcher for the Brewers that's really good. His name is lost me right now. I'll put it in the description so you guys know whenever I do the description, because the description always has like who I recommend picking. I'll put him in there. But yeah, so pitching is really important because of these missions. As you can see, we've gone over perks every time. For this run, I have perks of inner peace, clear for takeoff, heart attacks when we go with into this last mission. I do recommend, though, the trifecta. If you can get 3 diamonds of it, of top secret, inner peace, and Oppo Taco. I think these 3 are actually the best, especially whenever there's not so great of options. I just don't like with like clear for takeoff, or if you get a diamond heart attack. Yeah, you get great boost, but you have to do it in the first 2 pitches, and I don't like to handcuff myself to the first 2 pitches. That being said, this is what I recommend doing for the NL Central Showdown, and I think this will be very effective for a lot of people. It'll allow you to get that Lorenzo Cain, the Josh Bell, and the other players in the NL Central that you might want to get. If you guys are enjoying the content, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up for a like, so that I know that you guys are enjoying the content. Leave anything you want to see in the description. The AL Central will obviously be the next and final piece to this Stage 1 Showdown content for each division, and that will hopefully be out shortly. If you are enjoying the content and you want to watch me live, you can watch me on twitch.tv/HopefulChewbacca. And that's Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. My schedule varies a little bit. If you want to know when I am going live on those days, follow me on Twitter at Hopeful1137. A lot of people have been asking what my PSN is. That is also Hopeful1137. Anyways, I appreciate everyone watching, and I hope you're enjoying the content. You guys have a wonderful day and be safe.